That's right. Hi, everybody. I think it should be working now. So, hello, we're here again in another stream talking about exchange students, UPA. I'm gonna, other people join, we're gonna give it like 3 minutes. In the meantime, I am gonna talk about, other people join, we're gonna give it like 3 minutes. In the meantime, I am gonna talk about stuff that I'm going to be working on are what is important. So, first of all, for those who don't know and weren't here last time for our first stream, my name is Lucie Prajslerova. You can call me Lucie P if that's too hard for you to say it, which is normal. And I am an exchange student from the Czech Republic, which is a country in the center of Europe. And I came to the United States as an exchange student thanks to two amazing organizations, a Czech organization named CCI and an American organization called Greenheart Online. Greenheart Exchange Online. I can never say it correctly. I'm sorry. Shortly, Greenheart. Links to their websites, if you want to know more, are in the chat. Already pasted, and they'll be also written down in the description of the live stream down below. After we end this, I'm going to edit it and put them down there. Also, another thing, our first stream that was 2 weeks ago, my introduction and how I got here, and it was a really long stream. So if you have an hour to spare, you can go and listen to the previous stream that we had. If not, it's completely fine. Also, I heard from certain people that an hour of a live stream is really long, and I understand that. The thing there was when I'm logging in my volunteer hours, which is why I'm doing these streams, when I log them, I can log either a half an hour or an hour. And when I looked at the time when I was in the middle of my story, I was like, okay, so I need to stretch it to 1 hour because I don't want to lose any more minutes and I don't want you to have just half of the story. But I promise that this time I'm going to keep it to half an hour so you don't have to sit here and be like, oh my gosh, she's boring. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do. Hi, Rachel. It's nice to see you. I'm glad that you came to listen to me talk about random stuff. Also, what I wanted to say, in an invitation, one of the invitations that I send out to these streams, I was saying that we're going to talk about paperwork and stuff that is required from an exchange student. Scratch that. We're not going to talk about that. I did not receive an agreement from both sides of my organizations that I can talk about that yet, because there's probably something that I cannot mention or cannot show. So until I get that confirmation, I thought of a substitute theme for this stream, which is going to be program rules and conditions of participation from Greenheart side. This is an awesome packet that is really long. Well, it doesn't seem long, but it is. And that's full of rules that I need to follow. Otherwise, I'm going to either get sent home early or pay a fee. But most of them are just like, go home. We don't want you here anymore. Hi, JC. Nice to see you. I'm glad that someone came. So, yeah, this is what we're going to talk about. And I promise that I'll try to keep it in a half an hour. There was probably something else I wanted to say, and I just forgot. So we're not going to care about that right now. And after I remember, I'm just going to shout it at you, and hopefully we won't forget anything else. So, yes. I hope that Miss Yanarula is watching. She is not the founder, but she leads the Czech organization CCI. I hope she's here. If not, I'm just saying hi and, till next time. She said she's going to come and watch, but I'm glad that Rachel and JC are here. It's nice to see you guys. Also, if you have any questions regarding exchange students or what I'm saying, or if you have any other questions, like for me, I don't know, what are my hobbies or whatever, then don't be afraid to ask them in the chat. It's definitely gonna help. So yeah, let's start with, so I'm gonna be reading it, so I'm gonna be looking down a lot, but I'll try to read the chat in the meantime. So, J1 High School 2020-2021 program conditions of participation. Yay! Some of them are really like self-explanatory. Some of them are really like, I'll try to follow that. You'll understand when we go through them. So, every participant agrees in advance to accept the following conditions. These are like general, and then there's like at least 4 subparts that are regarding specific, I don't know, themes or subjects. So don't worry. Number 1, accept the host family selected in any part of the country. Greenheart Exchange welcomes hosts from all races, creeds, colors, religious persuasions, sexual orientation, and social levels. It's like technically it says that you are supposed to accept the host family that the Greenheart has selected for you. The families that are being selected for you for an exchange student are usually monitored before they are given an exchange student, if it's okay to send a student in their family. But that also doesn't mean that you have to live with that family when you don't fit in the family well. It doesn't mean that you have to stay there because Greenheart said so. If you come into a host family, you're there like for 2 or 3 weeks, and you're like, I cannot fit in well with these people, or we just don't understand each other, and it's just so weird. You can actually talk to your coordinator, and they'll try to like figure stuff out and help you get close to your host family. And if it still doesn't work, they'll help you change it, and you're just going to go live somewhere else, which is something that can happen. So this rule doesn't necessarily say that you have to live with the family selected. You just have to accept it and try to live with them and meet them and get to know them. And if you still don't fit in after that, then you can actually try to change it. But that didn't happen to me. My host family is awesome. I love them so much. Number 2, live as a participating member of the host family and to accept normal family responsibilities and to adapt to and live within the rules and customs of the host family, showing respect for the host parents. That just means be a good kid. I don't want to make too much fun of the rules, but you just have to accept the life that the host family has and try to live in that. Like, that's your purpose of coming here, to get the slice of life in an American family, right? So you don't want to be just like doing nothing. And and it's also like you should respect the host family for taking you in. Later we're going to talk about it, but the host families, at least from Greenheart, that can change with other programs, but from Greenheart, they are not financially supported for having an exchange student. It's all their goodwill and the want to have an exchange student, so you should be respectful toward your host family. JC asks, do the families sign up for it to get a student, or is it just random? Good question. I think they can sign up for it. So, and I don't even think that the host families can choose their exchange student. If that's like, host families can sign up and get a special request. Oh yeah. Oh, hello, Miss Rola. Nice to see you. Okay, so host families can sign up and have a special request, but I don't know. Usually it's not that they'll say which student exactly they want. I think that I was selected at random, But what I do know is that the students who get a scholarship are sent to Colorado because the woman that like provides the scholarships to students lives here in Colorado. So I guess just so we could meet. I met her. She's such a sweet lady. I love her so much. Okay, example, if they require a girl in a certain country, they can go ahead and ask for it, but there's no 100% guarantee. Okay, so that's understandable. If they want a girl, then here we want a girl. Okay, number 3, maintain a satisfactory level of academic performance and appropriate behavior in school, including completing all coursework and attendance requirements. Students must contribute to a safe school environment by not making any comments, jokes, threats, gestures, social media posts, or any other action deemed threatening by their school. Just, be a good student. There's much more about when it comes to school and requirements for your work in school, which is actually one thing that accept and pay all expenses for an individual tutor, which means if you're failing at school, either because you just don't understand what they're talking about or because your English is bad and you just don't understand what they're saying, then you pay for your tutor and it's all your problem. You should take care of that because, again, we're going to talk about it. There's a requirement for grades. And if you're failing, you should figure it out and not be just, closed up about it. You have to open up and say stuff. Otherwise, problems are going to be created. Number 5, obey all laws of the United States, the host community, and the state in which it is located, and obey all rules of Greenheart, which means for those that are not from the United States and just don't know, anyone under age 21, no alcohol, anyone under age 18, cigarettes, smoking, and stuff like that. But I think that Greenheart is forbidding it anyway. So, even if you would be 18, I think that Greenheart forbids it anyway. So just no bad stuff like that. Well, it's not bad stuff, but you know what I mean. Just don't break the rules. It includes also electronic cigarettes. So, the extra expenses with tutoring happen very rarely. I think so, because usually the teachers here are just like teachers here in the high school are so good. I'm not having so much problems with English in school, but they're still helping me so much. My chemistry teacher is I was reading a test and I didn't finish reading the instruction. Purchase a car, motorbike, or any motor vehicle. Yep, don't drive. Not only because I don't have a driver's license, so I can't, but even if you didn't, just don't drive. It's immediate program dismissal. So don't. There's a section that students may take part in classes for driving if it's approved by their natural parents, host parents, and Greenheart. I don't know if I would actually want to get a driver's license here, so I'm not going to speak on behalf of those people. Number 7, no hitchhiking at any time during the program. That's a self-explanatory. Number 8, to repay hosts promptly for any damage caused to the property of the host family, school, hotel, or other site visited during the program. If you break something, you pay for it. Number 9, to arrive in the host country with round-trip international and domestic air tickets. I know that we had a lot of question about this one. I guess what it just means that you need to have your flight tickets when you come in and back, both of the flight tickets to get here and back when you come here. You just need to have that ready. Otherwise, I guess it's a problem. If I'm saying something wrong, please correct me. Number 10, to travel to homestay independently, to travel from the homestay as directed by Greenheart, to travel only with members of the host family. What that means is just don't travel on your own without any approval of people. Just, Your host family needs to know where you are and what you're doing. If you're going out of state, Greenheart needs to know where you are and what you're doing. And if you're traveling internationally, Greenheart needs to know. And I think even your natural parents need to know. I already filled one paperwork for it when I went to Texas last week. It's not that complicated. It's just, you need to let them know where you are. Like, if you travel and you don't notify anyone, it's really bad. So don't do that. To possess enough spending money to cover personal expenses while in the host country. Suggestion is $300 to $350 per month. Students must not lend or borrow personal funds. It is a suggestion, but I don't know. I guess what I would say to this one is just have enough money to buy stuff that you buy for yourself and do not annoy your host family with buying it for you, which I'm doing pretty fine with that. I'm just covering my stuff and, just have enough money to pay for your stuff. Then there's A, B, C, D stuff. So let's read that. A, abide by all restriction of the J1 exchange visitor visa. Follow the rules of your visa. Do not break them. I guess that's what it's saying. B, students must return to their respective countries at the conclusion of the program. Do not stay here. When you're supposed to leave, just leave. C, students who are prematurely dismissed from the program must leave the United States immediately. No 30-day grace period is allowed. I guess that's just if you're dismissed, go home. And I think the 30-day grace period is just you have 30 days to leave or something. Just leave immediately. Nobody's gonna care. Because you are terminated. D, students may not accept employment except in non-competitive positions, and that these kinds of positions not more than 10 hours per week. Yeah, I can't work because J1 visa is a non-working exchange student. That means I cannot work. If I do, I'm breaking the visa rules and stuff like that. I think that even if something like this would happen, that I would babysit someone or do snow shoveling for someone other than money, I would rather write it down as my volunteer hours that I am really in need of. So I would do as it is described on the DS 2019 form issued to students applying for J1 visas. I must live with a volunteer host family, attend full-time a U.S. high school, and abide by the sponsor's program rules. Follow rules, be with your host family, go to school. The DS 2019 form is actually really magical paper. When I was last time telling you how I was trying to get through the airports because they didn't want to let me go into the United States, after I showed that form, they were like, oh my gosh, okay, so you can go. I don't know what the DS form actually says, but, if you don't believe in miracles, now you should because you showed them a paper and they let you go. So that's magical paper right there. So, yeah. Number 12, students agree not to change to any other type of visa. I cannot actually think of an example where this would happen. I know I can't. It was something that I was thinking of when I wasn't allowed to go through the Prague airport. They'll probably tell me to change a visa, but what do I change it to? I don't know. Okay. 13. Students who choose to bring or purchase high-value items, such as laptop, computers, gaming systems, cell phones, cameras, etc., are responsible for those items at all times. That just means if you buy something or destroy something that is yours, like the laptop, Greenheart is not responsible, nor your host family. It's your own fault if you destroy it. Or if it gets stolen. Number 14, to accept and abide by the advice and direction of the local coordinator. Be nice to your coordinator and listen to their advice and be nice to them. I have an amazing coordinator. Okay, that's for extension of the program. Students must leave US and then apply for a new visa. Thank you. That's still to the number 12. Number 15, agree not to get body piercings or tattoos while on the program. That's pretty easy. We were actually talking about if I ever want to get piercings in my ears while I was with my host family. I don't think I would do it again. I had earrings once, but no, it hurts. Number 16, to accept all conditions of the program. That's easy. 17, not to use any firearms while on the program. I was actually surprised by that one because I was like, why would I bring guns with me? And then when I came here, I found out that a lot of families in the United States have guns in their house. And I was like, oh, so that's why it's written in the rules. We don't have, like, it's not so, like, in the Czech Republic, not many families have guns in their house. So, Greenheart Club participation requirement. You are agreeing to volunteer. So, you have to volunteer. And it's actually really awesome. Like, volunteering is super awesome. But the thing here is that here it's written 1/2 day, 4 hours each semester. I have a few problems with this because there's like 1/2 day and there's 4 hours in the parentheses. And I'm like, isn't half day 12 hours? But even if it would be 4 hours, then, 4 hours each semester, that means 8 hours total for the whole year. I need to have at least 40 hours to, for the program. And there's also a 100 hours where you can get a certificate, which I would love to have, but COVID is stopping me. Shooting at a shooting range is allowed, but needs to be approved by natural parents. Ooh, fun. No. I'm scared. I'm not going to be holding QPA. Greenheart reserves the complete right to make host family assignments. The program does not discriminate against host families or participants. Students may not demand to be placed in specific regions of the United States. What we went through, basically, they just choose a family for you and you have to try to live with them and be nice to them. Now we get to the interesting stuff. Electronic devices. Students are fully responsible for any computers and so on purchased or brought. Device and internet usage should be limited to extent of which is left to the direct discretion of the host family, local coordinator, regional director, or Greenheart. Technically, what it means is just don't be on your phone when you're supposed to be socializing with your host family and having the slice of life in America. Just, you're not coming here to be on your phone, which is actually a thing that we were warned a lot, that host families may take our phones away from us. So, just we were warned about that a lot. But I know that my host family would probably have more trouble with that I would. No offense, I love them, but we're sometimes really spending time on our phones. But we still spend time together and play video games, and that's fun. Yay. Electronic device usage. It is strongly advised that student contact with family and friends in their home country or with relatives in the USA be limited to not more than twice per month except in an emergency. This includes but is not limited to contact via phone, online, email, social media, instant message, etc., text and voice chat, FaceTime, WhatsApp, Facebook, Skype, Viber, and etc. Again, you're supposed to be with your host family. If you're going to talk to your normal family back home, it has a lot of that's a lot of limitation for you. For first, because you're not spending time with people that you should, and you're not getting to know them a lot. That's wrong. And second, if you do that, you're going to miss your family much more than you would if you wouldn't talk to them. Because I know I had a day when I was really missing them. And instead of going and talking to them, I went to go and spend time with my host family. And that really helped, because if I would go and talk to them, I would just miss them more and it would be worse. So don't talk to your family that much, and just, go spend time with your host family. When it comes to how much I talk with my family, I talk with them once a week. But that's really not my conduct. It's my mom, because she misses me a lot. So she's like texting me almost all the time. So I'm trying to limit it. But, as long as the student does not keep himself, herself in their room, on their phone, computer, speaking to relatives, then we are fine. Yeah, the point is just like, don't lock yourself away from your host family. You're there to spend time with them. So spend as much time as you can. You'll see it's awesome. Rules of internet usage. Yeah, there's that too. Students are not to post derogatory comments, mean comments about their host family, schools, and coordinators. Don't be mean. Be respectful. They're having you here because they want you to be here. And, as I already said, they're doing that from their own will. You should not be mean to them because it's not nice after what they're doing for you. Number 2, students are not to post or engage in violent, racist, sexist, homophobic, transphobic, or otherwise mean content on the internet or social media sites. Again, don't be mean on the internet. Number 3, students are not to engage in online bullying, harassment, or trolling. Don't be mean. It's just don't be disrespectful to the community that is around you. They're trying to accept you in their life, and you should not do that. It's just mean. Students are prohibited from viewing internet sites with sexually explicit content. Don't look at sites that are weird. I don't know how to say it in other words. I think it's self-explanatory. 5, students are not allowed to use ride-sharing apps, Uber, Lyft, etc., only if they have the consent of their host family, and you still have to be at least 18 years of age to even have that app. So usually you can just ask your host family or some of your friends, because in the United States, kids start driving at 16. So you can ask usually anyone, and they'll help you if you need help. Like, just don't forget to say thank you and like repay them, because gas. Students are not allowed to use dating, hookup, or meetup apps. Tinder, Grindr, OkCupid. I don't even know those. I know Tinder, but the rest, just meet people in real life. Don't look them up on the internet. Number 7, students are to respect and abide by all electronics and internet usage rules set by their host family. If your host family wants to take away your phone, just do it. Don't worry about it. Just do it. Greenheart reserves the right to limit a student's electronics usage at any time if the student has used their device to access or inappropriately. Greenheart has the right to just take your phone away from you too, technically. Visits. Greenheart strongly discourages natural parents, family members, or friends from visiting students. They can visit at the end of the program just to meet the host family and so on, and unusual circumstances. And when that happens, it's here actually written, students should not miss more than 3 days of school, and the visit should be no longer than 1 week. Just don't let your normal family intrude in the program. You're there to spend time with the host family, as I said. The unusual circumstances is, other way. If the participant wants to visit their home country in the meantime, they cannot, unless it is an unusual circumstance, which means if a family member is gravely ill, injured, or passes away. Holidays must be spent with the host family, and parents may not accompany their kids to the homestay at the onset of the program. You're just doing this alone. Travel. Participants may travel with host parents or school, all of them, but you just need to tell Greenheart where you're going and what you're doing. Independent travel before or during and after the program is prohibited. What, after the program? After the program, I don't think I'll care. I'm just going to go back home. But I think that I'm just not seeing the whole picture, so I'm just saying. Arrivals and departures. I see that we're already having the half an hour, so sorry for going overboard. I'll just say it quickly. You should arrive earlier, should not arrive earlier than 7 to 10 days before the first day of class. There are rare circumstances and permissions, but you have to obtain that from Greenheart. You have to fly directly to your host family. There are no stopovers or visits permitted, only if you approve it by Greenheart, but I don't know how that could happen. And again, you must leave within 7 to 10 days after the last day of school. High school diploma. High schools don't grant diplomas to exchange students. Most of the exchange students go to the 11th grade as a junior. I know one that is a senior, the 12th grade, but he's only one out of 3 that I met. Participants cannot pressure schools to give diplomas, but what I can ask for is a transcript of grades from the year, which I'm going to ask for, and it can be notarized or translated on my own expenses and to satisfy requirements of the students' home schools. I'm just going to get it because, it can be useful. If the host family wants to take the student on a vacation after does make sense. Insurance. All participants must be covered by illness and accident insurance for the duration of the program. So now we're getting to the stuff where I don't know everything for sure. So I think that the illness insurance is covered by my scholarship, but the accident insurance is something that we paid for. I don't know for sure right now. Someone help me. Then there's the fee for the high school program and covers all mandated program expenses for the time. I think that's covered by my insurance, my scholarship. It does not cover personal expenses, costs of books, school registration fees. Yeah, there's still stuff that I'm paying for myself, and it's not covered by the scholarship. For example, my phone. Another thing that I'm paying for is coffee, because in my host family, I'm the only one who drinks coffee. So whenever I buy coffee, I buy it on my own. I paid school registration fees. I paid a fee for borrowing a school computer. I'm paying fees for art supplies when we're given art supplies in art classes. I'm paying for all that on my own. And this is where it is mentioned that host families are not paid for anything that they're doing for you. So that's why you should be respectful, and you should also discuss it with them if you should pay them back, like having a monthly fee. How much? The school registration fee. God, that was so long ago. I don't remember. I would have to look through my computer. You know what? I'm gonna look for you because I'm just gonna do it. I know that the art supplies were $25 per semester because I had art in the first semester and second semester as well. And I can actually look at it and tell you for certain, for sure, how many it was. Oh, I need to pay for theater. Oh, so $45 for theater. Okay. Registration was $60. Technology rental was $75. And the painting was, I think, $25. Yeah, I said that right. So, yeah, that was, it was something around that $150 for the first semester. Second semester, because I didn't have to pay the registration anymore. Second semester was $70 because art supplies, and now I'm paying for theater. So that was the thing. Oops. And when it comes to my expenses with host family stuff, my phone is around $160 for 2 months. I don't know, the plan they found for me was just said I'm paying it for 2 months, not monthly, but still $160 because I have, calling, I have internet in my phone, and I also am paying for insurance for a phone because I bought a phone, or not bought, I'm renting a phone from the company, so I'm not using my Czech phone that I had, so that's another thing. Early termination of the program. Now we're going into the stuff that will send you home immediately. When students whose behavior does not meet program expectations may be dismissed from the program. Dismiss any student who's also dismissal of any student who has mental or physical health issues requires this action. So it can be your fault or it doesn't have to be your fault. So it includes but is not limited to, number 1, use and or possession of illegal drugs or controlled substances. Don't do drugs, people. Number 2, unacceptable sexual behavior. Number 3, driving or purchasing a motor vehicle requiring an operator's license. Don't drive if you can't. Number 4, drinking alcohol. Don't drink alcohol. Number 5, violation of U.S. state or community law. Don't violate the law. Expulsion from school by school officials. Number 6. Number 7, unauthorized travel. Number 8, if after and despite verbal and written warnings by Greenheart of unsatisfactory school performance, which includes 2 or more suspensions imposed by school officials, whether for misbehavior or lack of academic effort, or 2 or more failing grades in the same marking period. Be good in school. It doesn't mean that you have to be a perfect student, but, just what we already said. Be respectful and do your schoolwork. Number 9, violent behavior or physical attacks of any kind. Number 10, consistent inability or unwillingness, even after appropriate warnings and probationary periods have been extended, to interact productively with the host family. Be nice to your host family and don't be mean. I don't have fingers anymore. 11, undergoing a major lifestyle change, getting baptized or married. Don't get married. Number 12, having insufficient funds to cover personal expenses and or becoming excessively indebted financially to the host family or others. Be aware of how much money you have and how much you're spending. Number 13, during the program, if a student exhibits over time irregular or unhealthy eating practices and you need to see a health professional and you have an eating disorder, that can get you out. Number 14, experiencing a serious health issues that require extensive physical therapy. And finally, number 15, that includes all of these 14 points or other clear evidence that the student is not capable of or is unwilling to participate fully in the exchange. The organization also reserves the right to dismiss any participant who is found to have misrepresented him or herself or provided false information in the program application, who is not disclosing any previous mental health issues, which means failure to disclose such information will result in immediate repatriation in the event that the student returns home, either alone or accompanied. Parents or guardians are responsible for all expenses above those covered by the fee. So, those were the conditions of participation from Greenheart. I'm gonna end the stream right now. I'm gonna answer one question from yearbook from WCA students where I'm studying right now in the high school, because there's a lot of questions. So I'm gonna answer one question before we go. I'm gonna answer this question before we go. So we ended here. What is one thing everybody assumes about your country? I have a perfect answer for that. Everybody thinks that the Czech Republic is still Czechoslovakia. No, people. No, we're not Czechoslovakia anymore. Not since 1993, I think. That's when we became the Czech Republic alone, so no. we're not Czechoslovakia anymore, please. No. That's the thing that every time when I say I'm from the Czech Republic and they're like, oh, so you're from Czechoslovakia? I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm from the Czech Republic. That's like previous century. So that happens all the time. So yeah, that was the question. That one was really interesting. So I'm gonna end the live stream right here. Because we covered these conditions of participation, those are just one half of all the conditions, because I also have conditions that are given to me from CCI. They are mostly the same, but there are also some additional ones that are not in the Greenheart ones, and I think that we could cover those in the next stream, but they are not, because there's a lot of similarities here. I'm just gonna go through those that are different, if I will be able to. And I also wanted to include in the next stream a pre-departure preparation that we had, which is also really interesting. I think it was 2 weeks before we had our first departure, and I think even it was me, I was the first one to go. We had a little Zoom meeting together, and we were talking about all the preparations that we had to finish before we left the Czech Republic. So I think we can cover that in the next stream. And after that, I think I'll cover the paperwork after I get agreement from Greenheart that I can actually talk about it and show it. So I promise I'm gonna get enough information and approval that I can cover that. Hoping we will have the pre-departure orientation live this year, meeting with students and parents present. Yes, I hope so too. Like the Zoom, it wasn't like bad, but it was still a bit weird. COVID destroys stuff. So after going through this official stuff, we'll get to less official stuff, which will probably mean I want to invite my host family into a stream and just ask them for their point of view. I hope that I'll be able to ask my coordinator to join us for one stream so she can tell you stuff from her point of view. I'm going to talk about the differences between Czech school and USA school, because I think that's really interesting. A lot of people told me that they were interesting. And then I'll just try to think of something, and if we won't have anything to talk about anymore, then I'm just gonna switch to a different theme, and we're gonna talk about different stuff than exchange. You can subscribe to my channel, and after we finish live streaming, you can unsubscribe. I don't really care. I would be glad if you would stay and just see what I do here. A lot of art stuff. But still, I'll be seeing you next week at the same time, 11 a.m., and next week is, what's the date? I think 14th of March at the same time, and we'll be talking about different stuff. So thank you so much for being here. It was awesome, and I'll see you next week. Bye.